Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin.
I'm trying to be family friendly.
I'm Cap.
I'm Star.
And Christian will be here in a second, and then hopefully Hunter will, but we'll see. But we normally are doing these episodes on Patreon, but we wanted to give everyone a preview who is not part of our Patreon on kind of how these episodes are. So we're basically watching the Clone Wars. We are on season 4, and we're watching the Clone Wars in chronological order. So basically, we're on the last 2 episodes of the Bara arc, which is a great arc, but it's also very tragic. So,
Spoiler warning: if you haven't seen Umbara yet,
yeah, but
Go watch that now. And then come back.
Yep. So you can, turn on Disney Plus and watch the episodes with us as we're watching them, and then we are talking while the episode is playing, and we'll talk about things that maybe some people don't know about, some fun behind the scenes stuff, and then Josh is the guy in the chair, so he's always looking up facts that a lot of people don't know. So yes, Josh.
Technically speaking, all of us are in chairs.
I know, but you're right, but
Colin's
you're
on
the
a
guy
couch.
in the chair.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So Colin is
Colin,
not.
okay, fair point. I take it back. Colin's the guy.
Okay, so let's get into it. We haven't done it this way in a while. So is everyone ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And we all know that we're on season 4, episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Now, for the folks at home, Colin, are we 3, 2, 1 going? Are we 3, 2, 1 on 1? Are we 1,
Right,
2,
3,
3,
2, 1, go.
Are we
go on, go.
Is it blast
Go.
off?
Yeah, are we
Go.
gonna be like calling timber? Is there gonna be fire in the hole warnings? You gotta be
We'll
careful
Almost
here.
there. Stay on target.
We'll go on, go. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
What?
There you go.
Wait, are we watching Clone Wars or?
Oh
Okay.
crap! I turned on Top Gun.
Dang, me too. Oh my gosh. Same time too. Crazy.
Wait, the first or the second one?
The second one.
Okay, fair play. First 10 minutes are the same anyway.
Okay. All right. And for the first time, we are live on Instagram as well. Just let everyone know.
Ooh, fun.
That's awesome.
If I have my phone near me, I'd comment on Instagram, but I don't.
Great.
How does it work that we're live on Instagram as well?
Because they added a
Sounds-
new
Technology.
feature
Cool.
of where
Okay.
you can connect StreamYard to
Does it format it differently? Like, are we still? This is important Clone Wars
Yes.
commentary.
It
The
is.
format of the Instagram live that we're on that won't last longer than this stream.
Okay.
So I had a really hard time when we watched the first 2 episodes of this arc last week because I loved them so much I forgot to talk. So I was just like looking at the screen like, oh my god, I love these episodes.
Yeah.
And then I forgot to commentate. I'll do better.
You should.
Do better.
Yeah.
Build boss.
Oh my gosh. He's not in this episode.
He's literally in
He
one
could
episode.
be if you built him faster.
That's right.
So these are a bunch of 501st clones that we got to see in these first 2 episodes that, the people that aren't also behind the paywall, they didn't hear all of us talking about our favorite clones, favorite, moments in time. And this arc has so many important parts. I think it's hard to overstate. It's hard not to say things that haven't been said already.
Yeah.
I think a different way to approach this is if you guys had a clone that you want to see in this arc, if you could take one clone that isn't already in it and put it in this arc, what clone would it be
Ooh.
and why?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I was
wish-
Crosshair.
Thank you, Colin. Yep, same. Things would have gone very differently if Crosshair was here. That's for sure. I was gonna say Echo. I know he's dead, but if he would have been alive, I would have loved to see
Actually,
what
he's
Echo.
alive right now.
No.
Is he
Well,
really? Because I
Yes.
thought we were doing chronologically. So we already
No,
watched-
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no. I think he's referring to that
Oh, it's
he
just-
is alive. He's just
Yeah,
in
okay.
that containment unit.
As
Technically.
far as like the 501st is aware, he's not with the
Okay.
501st and alive. He is alive. But I've always thought like I would love to see what him and Fives would have done
Yeah.
together in this arc. That was always a wish of mine.
I think obviously my vote is going to be like Delta Squad, but if it wasn't Delta Squad, Cody would be kind of interesting. And I get like he shouldn't be in this arc because it would take the spotlight off of Rex as the commanding officer. But I would love to see how Cody would interact in this situation.
Yeah. Colin?
What?
He said
It's
Crosshair.
Crosshair.
Oh,
Yeah,
you said Crosshair. That's right.
I
Sorry.
agree. I do agree.
That's it.
It's a really short episode.
It
arc,
would. I
if
think Crosshair would have ended
Like,
this episode really quickly.
problem solved.
I think I would give a lot of money to see what Sev would have done to insurgents
Oh,
in a Vietnam style warfare. Like the entirety of Delta Squad, yes.
Yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
Just dropping Sev in the middle of the battlefield and going, have fun.
I
a
feel
good time.
like Delta
Would've loved
Squad would. In my opinion, I think Delta Squad would have been on Umbara. Like they would have been here during the battle.
As a whole, it fits the use of the commandos, which is espionage of
Yeah.
insurgent militias, and
Yeah.
like that's their job,
Yeah.
really. So it does fit.
Yeah. I
Yeah, it's always an interesting like way that
get out
Clone
of
Wars
here,
uses-
Governor.
like specialized units or sometimes don't use specialized units. I don't know, like when they have commando show up or when they have ARC troopers doing things versus when they have regular clones doing
Right.
it.
Yeah. Arc troopers in
also-
the Clone Wars, I almost feel like it's like higher ranking, like they're like a pseudo captain almost.
Yeah.
They kind of like they're on that same level of command.
Yeah.
But they aren't within the chain of command. They're
yeah.
kind of like their own separate entity,
Mm-hmm.
which is very different than like the Republic Commando novel.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like to have that spelled out at some point, like how the chain of command actually.
Yes, that would be really cool to know.
Josh is on it.
So something that I'm really interested is when they were coming up with these clones names. I'm just like, okay, so you've got Rex, you got Fives, right? But then there's names like, you know, here's Cody, here's Jesse,
Mhm.
and it's just like normal names, and you're just like, where did these come from?
Yeah.
Like I'm just curious of if they're all in the room of the storyboard team, and then they're just like, you know, here is Dobner, and they're like, oh, okay, I like that one, and it's like, here's like Gary. It's like, no, Gary's not really a clone name, but you know what? I like Jesse. That's a good one. And it's like, all right.
Hmm.
Oh.
It appears so for the 4 clones in the Camino arc, the arcs, Blitz, Colt, Havoc, and Hammer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All of those actually had the role of clone arc commander. So they were advanced recon commando commanders that held the commander rank in the Grand Army of the Republic.
Wow.
Outside of that, there apparently is the rank of clone major, which I don't think we ever have actually had.
Interesting.
noticed.
There's only like a Legends and like the complete vehicles. Like there's just one title that's just clone major to one vehicle driver.
Interesting.
Listed above captain, but aside from that, arcs actually aren't listed in the official Wikipedia canon entries on clone rank divisions.
Mhm.
Only arc commanders, which I only thought it was Commander Colt. I think.
Yeah.
I didn't think all of them were commanders. So maybe all commandos have the commander rank?
That seems weird.
Commander?
No.
Yeah, because they're like specialized like infiltration units. So, because like
Yeah, they're not-
Yeah.
advanced recon commandos, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they're almost less. They're like. I feel like they're like. I always envisioned arcs as like scout squads that you kind
Yeah.
of like. They were always more centralized to an actual army
Yes.
than commandos.
Yeah.
Like they went out like maybe early, did scouting and like infiltration units, but they were always
Yeah.
connected to a larger operation.
Yeah.
Well,
The
you always,
commandos were like, we only can afford to send 4 of you on an entire planet. You have no backup, and if you die, we
Luck. Yeah.
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
I think that line is ironic. Because he's like, we are not just numbers, and then Rex is like 5s.
Yep.
Classic. I guess I only yeah.
I will say, design-wise, one thing that I really like is how clean Fives' armor is. Like,
Yeah.
even compared to the Grunts, the Arc armor is exceptionally clean.
I love that the 501st Troopers are they're simultaneously like the most effective. They're super
Mhm.
specialized. They're great at everything they do, and they also are so much trouble. And that just goes together very well.
Just shoving people.
Oh, yep, twice.
Here's your A New Hope reference.
Yep. Yep.
I love that they put that in there.
How big is that hangar? I feel like it's knocked everything over like twice. Yep.
Just randomly start giving numbers. He's not going to know the
No,
difference.
you wouldn't know.
No.
That's gonna leave a mark. Yikes. And it's funny because Krell is not mad that they're doing this. He's more like, I mean, he's not mad that they're trying to, like, you know, save the day and train and do the right thing. He's mad because they are going against like his plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like,
Well, and we kind of said this last week, but he's such a good villain for being so like he hates that they're defying him. Like he's taking it
Yeah.
super personally, and it's
Yeah.
not even necessarily a strategic thing. And I like that because like you see a lot of villains like that are very realistic, you know, in other
Mhm.
films.
Yeah, he has a lot more depth to him
Yeah.
as a villain than just being like,
Yeah.
he's the bad
Yeah,
guy.
he's not just
and
like-
having him be like,
Yeah.
you know, a Jedi, obviously. He has a lot of layers to him as a villain.
He's not like a soul patch twirling bad guy. Very calm.
Yep.
procedure. Yeah.
The reasoning.
Classic clone logic. Yeah. Now this is pod racing.
I really like the character building there. That
Mhm.
just off screen at some point, Anakin's just sat down with Fives and be like, "Let me tell you a story." Like that's just it shows how personable he is as a general.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just some campaign, he's chatting, telling people
Yeah.
stories about his childhood. Like
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
so fun.
He is just like in mid battle. He's just like, when I was 9 years old, I blew up an entire space station.
It
It was
shouldn't
just
be
like
that
pod
hard."
racing. Yeah.
that along with the like, are those scopes Jedi issues, sir? Like those kind of moments, it makes me feel like Fives and Anakin share a like
Yeah.
joined kinship of not caring a lot almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're both kind of the chaos of their respective like friend groups.
Yeah, that's true.
They bond on that level.
I would just find that more difficult for like Fives to fly it because he's leaned more forward now because he's still wearing his backpack, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't like Dobner. I just don't like him.
I know.
Like who?
Dogma. He.
I thought his name was Dobner, no?
No,
I
it's
think
Dogma.
Dogma.
Dogma. Oh, I thought all these years his name was Dobner.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, no, it's Dogma, which is actually a really interesting name for them to pick because if you think about like religious dogma, it's like the sticking to the letter of the law. And so picking a name like that really articulates what his character is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, something I was thinking about was like the like clones had these numbers and then they're like, oh, we can come up with names. How did like Jesse just sit down? He was like, you know what? My name's gonna be Jesse. It's just like, where did that come from? Like,
Who knows?
Dog really likes Toy Story too.
He's so proud.
He is.
yeah. Let's go, hard case.
That was a really quick camera pin. This is also really interesting because so the opening of episode 1, we got Y-Wings, let's go. We got the space battle outside of Umbara.
Yep.
So we
Yeah.
got to see that in action. We got to see the insertion of the 501st. And
Yep.
now we're seeing the in-atmosphere battle. Space
Yeah.
battle. In-atmosphere space non-space battle of Umbara going on. So like we're seeing it's not just this is an entire campaign. We're
Yeah.
directly seeing that we're focused on this one part of this campaign. We're still seeing little bits and chunks of the other stuff, which is not something we commonly get. I kind of wish we got a little bit of this style for like the Geonosis battles, especially the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got, like,
I agree.
hints of it, but having these layers, I think, would be so interesting.
Yeah.
So speaking of Geonosis, I was reading something the other day. So Cody wasn't at the first battle of Geonosis, but Captain Rex was, but he wasn't a captain, right?
That's correct. Let me verify.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, he was deployed in the first battle of Geonosis.
Okay. I know there's a theory that the clone that fell or like that was with Padme when she fell off the gunship that clone was Rex. I know that's a big theory going around, and I was like, okay.
Oh, I saw that meme. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here come the tattletales. That's what I thought. Hell yeah. Why did George need brakes? Oh. Never tell me the odds.
It's really fun that we got to see. I mean, they did a lot of great Chekhov's gun situations. We saw them progressively learn each of the controls for the ship, how the guns work when it exploded the hangar door. So, like, everything that we're seeing, the consequences of that action of shooting the door, it's not something that we like didn't know could happen. It
Right.
checks out, and we accept that. It works well. It's good, simple storytelling.
I will always remember this line. And every time I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 online and uh we were playing the game mode Supremacy and I would get cornered and I would get the rest of our team like away, I would always say this line. And because of it would just get like so dramatic. It was so funny. We'll fight another day, boys. Live to fight another day. This is also another episode 1 callback too.
Yeah. Also, I just realized I know what I'm doing is the same thing that Heavy says before his
Mhm.
sacrifice.
Yep.
I also find it hilarious. The 501st just stepped on so many toes, like invading another battalion's orbital
Yeah.
campaign and just ending it.
Well, they don't care.
No, they don't.
Not Sergeant Oppo.
They just look so menacing with that lighting too.
No. Something also that I think about like the way that Captain Rex like acts sometimes is just I know Anakin would have come up with this plan if like Rex and them didn't.
Yeah.
And that shows you how much like his leadership style and Anakin's personality has actually rubbed off onto the clones.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and it also makes him really creative, right? Because I feel like Rex just lets his ARC troopers do all this crazy stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, fine, go for it. Because again, Anakin would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is probably super shocking for Krill to be so upset. And like Anakin breaks the rules all the time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the deal?
All right, next episode. All right, we are going off a go.
All
Just
right,
let me know when you're ready.
second.
This one's really, really sad. I remember seeing this one and I like for the first time as a kid, and I was like, I can't believe they did that. That's so
I
tragic.
know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so
I know.
dark too.
Yeah.
It's just really the themes of this one are just so dark.
Well, this whole arc, and we said this
Yeah.
last week, but I'll repeat myself because we're live, is like it really does, like we said, put the clones and the clone wars really into Clone Wars, where you have, I mean, a really rough arc that is just all about tactics, war,
Yeah.
betrayal. I mean, it's a really
Yeah.
it really brings the mood down, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes it really serious.
all right.
Anyway,
Okay. Are we all ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, I'm now watching the second Top Gun.
Our actions define our legacy.
I think the ending of that episode had a really good line that accentuates what we're saying, where Krell was like, "For crossing me, they pay that
Yep.
price."
No.
Extremely personal to him
Yep.
how the clones act when they're under his command, which is
Yeah.
interesting because his like Carnage reports show that he'd be very impersonal to the clone.
Yeah.
So it's a very weird, like almost one-way relationship that he himself imposes.
Yeah.
Dude, you're just a bad guy, man. Damn.
I wonder what that line's about. Like, I've seen it before. Like, is this what has happened to his own clones before? You know, they've been insubordinate, you know? 'Cause that's what it sounds like.
If there was one Jedi that was from Legends that's not canon that you could bring into canon, who would that be?
Oh, God. A Jedi?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Mine would probably be General Ram Koda from the Force Unleashed games because I would have loved to see him in the Clone Wars era.
Hmm.
Josh, how about you?
Sorry, I completely stopped listening. I was trying to find what battalion Krell or like
Oh, okay.
he commanded
I'd
before.
really like to know that.
There's nothing online.
Dang.
No.
Yeah,
I was
no,
not-
it jumps from him having a quote. What was it? Derogatory face, but said nothing when Yoda and Plo Koon were like, "Hey, clones are individuals, guys."
This is just terrible.
I mean, this is insubordinate troops from a perspective. I mean, it's really sad to see the clones on both sides of the aisle here being put
Yeah.
in this position, and it's honestly distressing foreshadowing for what happens just later in this episode. We have clones being told to kill other clones.
Yeah, that is so dark. Like, in the lighting. God.
Yeah.
I like how there's quite evidently a shot where if Jesse did not duck,
Yeah.
he was getting clotheslined.
There's that one
Somebody doesn't
that
like
one guy
Jesse.
that doesn't like Jesse.
Yeah.
He was definitely tough because he closed his eyes.
Like, dude, let it go.
Dogma, just
Dogma?
just
He's
stop.
the worst.
But that's interesting, right? 'Cause,
It-
like most
yeah.
of the time, you have clones that we really like. They make sense to us. They're
Yeah.
cool. We're on board. And then, like, I like that he shows a, here's a clone that could be kind of a villain.
Crush Dad.
Hello there.
Yay!
General Kenobi.
You are a bold one.
I try. I'm also irritated with computer hardware right now. So
Sorry.
yeah, but on top of the heat.
These holograms are so interesting. They are. I mean, we have the screen type and how they fly stuff is like they have circular holograms for control modules, but when it comes to assembling holographic images, it's like cuboid. Very interesting way of doing it. Reminds me of those old like 3D sprites that they do of like NES characters.
Christian, we're at the 6-minute mark. We're at 6 minutes and yeah. If like everyone pauses for like 20 seconds. All right, everyone pause now. We're at 6 minutes and 28 seconds on season 4, episode 10.
You got it. 6:28.
Yep. All right.
All right. I am there.
All right. All right. We're going on go. Everyone ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. This is the saddest thing. This is probably like,
Horrible.
do you guys think this is the saddest moment out of all the Clone Wars, or do you think it's like season 7?
Oh.
Or do you think it's the part where like of where we lose fives? There's like so many sad
There's a lot of sad
Yeah.
parts you just named there.
I know.
All of them are sad.
Yeah. Of course, this one and the end of season 7, they're both sad in the same way because they're psychologically like, oh my gosh, these are people who should not be shooting at each
Yeah.
other. And I guess that's the same with fives, but those two feel more similar.
Yeah.
This just makes me sick to my stomach. I can't believe they wrote it this way. This is so sad.
So
I mean, this is, correct me if I'm wrong in my history, but like this is a situation that has happened before.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Like, this isn't a new thing or something that some like sick demented writer came up with. This
No.
is
Yeah.
a reflection of real war scenarios that we have had happen, especially in periods of wartime where communication isn't prime
Yeah.
between.
Didn't this
different
happen in
nations.
World War II?
I don't know if this exact sort of scenario happened in World War II.
Okay.
Maybe not like you had a commander that instantiated all of it, but there was
Yeah.
likely scenarios where people at the same side were shooting. at each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, it happens more often than people realize. It happens even
Yeah.
in modern combat.
Jeez.
Work like with people calling artillery strikes on certain like coordinates, but then the computer
Yeah.
gets things wrong. It's like, oh, the Colin location was the target strike, and then all of a sudden you're being
Yeah.
bombed by your own side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a hero.
Just tackles that guy.
I just love how that clone is just like, he's like, oh
What
my
the hell?
god. Yeah, he's like, oh my god, no.
This is probably his first interaction with like the legendary Captain Rex, and he just
Yeah.
got body tackled.
Just tackled.
Also, just the fact that Rex just runs out and takes off his helmet in the middle of a full-fledged battle is just like, oh, respect.
Yeah.
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 These poor people are traumatized. And what is this other? They've got yellow. They're not 212.
They're 212. No,
They're
these are
the
212. Yeah.
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 These are the
These are
212.
rendezvousing with Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why we have our.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so horrible. Oh.
This made me so sad. I was like, you did not just kill Waxer, and we don't find out what happens to Boyle. Are you kidding me?
No, we have Boyle in one of the later episodes for the
Oh, we do?
Zygerian slavers. Yeah, he's on the ATR.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It makes me wonder if, like, for this to have happened the way it did Krell tell Obi-Wan and Cody that, a bunch of 501st have been killed and their armor's been taken,
Probably.
I guess.
right? Because that's even more messed up than just
Yeah.
Yeah.
to like.
Something else that like made that scene super sad too was they played the trumpet in the background, and I was like, oh man. And then you just have him cry, like he just sheds that one tear, and you're just like, this is intense, man. And people are like, the Clone Wars is a TV show, and then you got episodes like this, and you're just like, shoot.
Yeah. Not for children.
Clone
No.
Wars is for kids, except for all the war crimes.
Right.
No. You just wait until like season 5 of where it's Darth Maul and Savage just going on a rampage like in the underworld.
Yeah.
I love this scene.
Yeah.
The lighting of that scene.
Yeah. This whole.
It's so well
Oh,
done.
whoa. Don't you dare talk about the lighting, Josh.
I'm so sorry,
Back
Josh.
off.
If I could curse, I would.
Gosh darn it.
You're good.
You son of a moof milker, you.
Son of a biscuit. God.
I
This
would be
whole arc is so
terrified.
wonderfully moody.
Yes.
Yes.
God.
Good framing.
Mhm.
I would be terrified of Krell. Like
Dude, this dude's stance is wide. I just
Yeah.
realized.
yeah, and not just that, like his lightsabers too are just, they're like huge, like he's just a big guy, so it's just like he's a tank, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw things that looked exactly like those lightsaber hilts. I'm pretty sure there were 2 salamis tied together at the grocery store.
Jeez.
Was it salamis or nunchucks?
Look at that.
If it was nunchucks, I would have walked out of the store with them.
Ooh.
The thing for me that I find interesting with Krell, right, is that they chose the same kind of, almost the same color balancing as they do with Grievous,
Yes.
Yeah.
which it's 2 blue, 2 green, because he's got double-bladed lightsabers. But the fact that he's a Jedi with 2 fully separate crystal colors, because like we say with Ahsoka, she's got 2 different color blades, but they're related color
Yes.
blades. They're close. This is drastically different colors.
I don't know how much of that is character choice as much as it is
Design.
you need if you have 2 blues, you can't, and especially in dark environments like this, you can't tell where he's facing. It's like a boat.
Yeah.
You need to have green for the right, red for the left. It's
Right.
similar in this case, so you can see and make the connections of from scene to scene of where he's facing.
Yeah.
What he's doing.
Dogma.
I do like in that scenario, like Krell is running away. He's
Yeah.
prime target, and all of them take the time to stop and converse with Dogma about the situation,
Uh-huh.
get the scenario to like an amicable place, and then they go find him.
Yeah, it's we need to sort this out first.
Yeah, like, they could have easily just stunned him.
Yeah. But I think it's because Rex realizes the importance of not just like being a good commander and giving orders and making sure your soldiers follow them, but also, you need to explain the actions you're taking. Because sometimes if people are like, no, we can't do this, it's like, but like no, you're right. Normally we shouldn't do this, but being asked to let it slide is indefensible.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez. Not that evil laugh.
He's such a textbook villain.
Yeah. He's like, you all been my pawns. Ha 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 ha.
It honestly, it reminds me a little bit of a Darth Malgus, not Malgus, Malak from KOTOR, because he also is very evil. Laugh, ha 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 ha.
No. Josh, how much do you think that Pong Krell benches at the gym?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Much.
Well, he just military pressed approximately 180 pounds. Clones are pretty thin dudes, but with armor.
About 180, and then you got
that's extensive.
I'd say if he used all armor and gear, yeah.
If he had all 4 arms, I can't. My timestamp isn't working. Oh,
actually. Google how much can Pong Krell bench.
I don't know. It depends on how many pectoral muscles he has. We know he has 2 sets of arms, but probably one of the sets of arms is controlled just by a secondary front delt. I think he only has 1 pectoralis, so he, technically speaking, only be able to bench marginally more than a regular person.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe like 280, 320, somewhere in there.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, well, because his secondary set of arms isn't controlled by a secondary pectoralis muscle, which is what's used in the benching movement.
As far as we can tell, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we're hearing is we need to see a shirtless Pong Krell.
Now, if you allow him to use the Force.
No.
I've seen Pong Krell without his soul patch. I don't need to see him without it too.
That's right.
No
Yeah, that was enough.
Very, very true.
Oh boy.
And no, I'll say he is a low bench, if nothing more than to demoralize him.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take that reasoning.
Christian, the question we asked earlier, I'd like to get your input on is if you could add any clone to the Umbara arc to see how they interacted with this storyline, what clone would you want added?
Any clone?
Any clone. We've had answers of Crosshair, Delta Squad. We had
Cody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see how Wolf reacts to a lot of this stuff.
Ooh.
Because Wolf has always been very cut and dry.
Yeah, he would not put up with this.
Yeah, he would have started countermanding orders from like day 1, hour 2.
Yeah. I feel like Commander Fox also would have been on the same side as Pong Krell. Not as Pong Krell, but probably with Dogma. He probably would have been in the same position of being like, I'm following orders. He's the person in charge.
He would have been much sassier about it though.
Yeah.
Because Dogma is, from all of the sources we have, a sassy clone trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fox also doesn't. There's cases where we see where he doesn't have blind loyalty like Dogma did, where he's like, "I'm sorry, Commander, but all the same, you're under arrest." Like, he sees it, but he knows he's bound by the law.
No, I guarantee you that he is Facebook friends with Emperor Palpatine. That he hangs out with them outside of work. Those two are tight, and that's the reason why Fox acts the way that he does. Hate that guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you have it, folks. Colin, how do you know they're Facebook friends?
Yeah,
Are you Facebook friends with Emperor Palpatine?
No.
You need to be Facebook friends with one of them to see mutuals.
There you go. Who is it? Is it
Ooh,
Fox or
yeah.
Palpatine,
Yeah.
Colin? Who is
Answer
it?
carefully.
I am the Senate.
Got it.
Thought so.
Do it.
I mean, he is an Anakin cosplayer. Checks out.
Yeah.
How do you think they reported this like back to base of being like, oh, like Paul Krell went crazy and then he tried to join the dark side and didn't work out, and then like the clone that was on his side like killed him, and so
That is something
Sorry.
I've
sorry, General Skywalker.
No,
wondered about.
I think Rex had a one-on-one with Anakin,
Yep.
explained it, and Anakin used his in with Palpatine, and it just kind of like got
Yeah.
swept under the rug.
You kind of have to, because like if you wrote this up in a report, there'd be no way to verify that the Jedi actually went,
Yeah.
nuts and like turned
Yeah.
on them. And I don't think people are going to necessarily believe a clone over a Jedi account. So yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
there was some wheeling behind the scenes.
Yep.
I mean, is there any evidence of the fact? Doesn't one of them say that there's a recording somewhere? Or no?
Don't
There's bound to be transmissions that are
There's bound to be
logged
something, right?
from Krell to the 212.
But I could also see them taking the, like, if they can get everyone to maintain the story, like especially all the
Right.
commanding officers within the 501st, to be like an Umbaran slipped in and shot him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they could stage his death
Mhm.
fairly believably, I believe.
I think the only thing against that would be if they had forensic analysts where Umbarans use different plasma. That would
Yeah.
be the ionized blaster bolt that went through him, that it probably leaves a different discharge
Right,
on
like
the burn, I guess.
Dogma gets arrested, right?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
imagine they're pretty faithful to the fact that Pon Krell announced to us, and he was returning he was going to join Count Dooku.
Yep.
And it's not just 501st troopers. There's also 212th troopers that
Right.
joined the arrest on Pon Krell.
No.
So I imagine there's some pretty corroboratory evidence to the fact that, he turned, and Jedi can normally tell if someone's lying through the Force.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
God, Clone Wars is good.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I really enjoy the Umbara arc, but it's really, really sad at the same
Yeah.
time.
It's a hard arc to watch.
Yeah. And wasn't one of the Umbara episodes like the 100th episode, like of the Clone Wars or something like that?
I don't think so. I could see it being one of the 60s.
No, the 100th episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars was aired as the 5th season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
It was in the 5th season. I just remember watching some trailer, like kind of marking like the 100th episode, and I remember they just kept showing a lot of clips of the Umbara arc. I don't know why, but
It was probably one of those like the 100th episode, and they wanted to show like highlights of the show up to that point.
yeah.
It's meant to be commemorative of everything. And at that time, until season 7, Umbara was like the crown jewel of the Clone Wars show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For good
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, everyone who is watching and listening to us, that is what what you just saw and listened to, that's basically what we do on Patreon every week. It might be slightly different just because we can get unhinged sometimes, and when I say we, I mean Star.
And Christian. You got to
That's
give it to
true.
me and Christian.
That's true. I am normally not afraid to drop some more coarse language.
Yeah. So we just have a blast on every Patreon episode that we drop, and we just talk about the Clone Wars, and we just talk about like the behind the scenes stuff that some people don't know about, and we kind of put our input into it as well. It's fantastic, and we've all just had a blast with it. So if you are interested, please go sign up over at our Patreon. There we go. Over at patreon.com at Star Wars Stuff Podcast 2187. Go and check it out. We actually just had a couple of more people sign up yesterday from our post show of Acolyte, and that goes on our main stuff every week, and that's been a lot of fun. So if you have been enjoying Acolyte, come and join us in our pre-show and our post show where we talk all about it. It's so much fun. Yeah, is there any words of wisdom for all of you that you'd like to bestow on the audience before we go off the air?
Don't trust any 4-armed Jedi that try to tell you that other clone armor has been stolen by someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say check under people's helmets before you shoot them, but
Yeah.
you
That's a good one.
know.
Don't trust
All right.
people that talk with half their hands.
No.
All right.
You were saying, Josh?
All right. May the force be with you.